Okay, so we're starting off with Standard 5. How do effective leaders provide coherent systems of academic and social support services, extracurricular activities, and accommodations to meet the range of learner needs for each student? The quote that you see there is from Module 36, and it has to do with my conversations with Dr. Canada, um, kind of outlining what we do as a school and what we do for our students who have IEPs. We also have a wellness survey, which allows us to see any students that need any emotional or even psychological support. And then we have many opportunities for students to visit the counseling office in various ways, whether it be something like registration, but there can be any need that they have, whether it maybe they're new to the school, maybe they are transitioning to another school. There's many different opportunities there. How does an effective leader plan for uncertainty, risk, emergencies by creating a risk mitigation plan and making provisions to create a safe and secure environment for students and staff? The quote you see there is from Module 37, conversation I had with Dr. Swan, where he said that staff non-compliance is really one of the biggest factors that we have with any type of emergency plan or risk assessment. Are people actually going to do what it is that they're supposed to do? I created in that same unit, I created my own risk assessment for the school, which basically looked at things like storms, snow and ice, um, looked at uh, severe air quality issues, and then some of the issues that you and I have talked about, where we have the opportunity or possibility for non-staff, non-students to enter into our schools and our buildings. We have an action plan at our school. I haven't actually seen it, so as part of the program, we had to create our own communication chart of what we thought it was, and based on conversations with you and Dr. Swan, I created my own. And then obviously we have things like fire drills, and we have a lockdown drill coming up in the next few days as well. Standard 6, professional capacity for school personnel. How does a effective leader recruit, hire, support, develop, and retain effective and caring teachers and other professional staff and form them into an educationally effective faculty? Um, that quote you see there is from Module 35, and that's my own reflection where I said that a cohort, the way we form our cohort before they even come onto campus through WeChat groups is highly effective. It allows us to reach out to leaders within our human resources department, our assistant principal, and even staff that are already or from the previous cohort and ask questions. And it is a really effective tool. We also have our code of conduct, which I felt like it needed to be there because giving everybody rules that they need to abide by really helps us to be more effective. It allows us to know what the do's and don'ts are. What is it that you're asking of us? And it also allows administration and leadership to understand who the outliers are, who maybe does not fit into our culture, into our family. And that I feel that is an important part of it as well. Um, we do allow teachers to move around within the Nord Anglia family. We make that very easy to look for jobs within the 80 school network. And then, one thing that is really resonated with me is the ability to grow as a professional through this school. You guys are very supportive. I would like to. Oh, okay. Well, let's see how we can do that. And I find that to be a real good selling point when I talk to people who might want to come to the school. I mention that quite often. How does an effective leader foster continuous improvement of individual and collective instructional capacity to achieve outcomes envisioned by each student? One of the things I pointed out is that in my department we have two really veteran teachers in Mike Kay and myself, and then we have two teachers that are kind of new to an American school with our standardized testing and some of the other things that we do, and it's been really helpful to have that balance. Um, I also really try to support all the members, not only in my department, but as a veteran teacher, I try to help when I can. When teachers are seeing a trouble spot, I try to be, the voice of, what can we do to make that work. And then we share best practices through instructional rounds, through teacher-led workshops. Mr. Slava, one of our tech teachers, does a really great job with creating that we can continually improve and continually grow. How does an effective leader deliver actionable feedback about instruction and other professional practice through valid research anchored systems of supervision and evaluation to support the development of teachers and staff members and their knowledge, skills, and practices? Well, I didn't put it on here, but I think that it goes without saying that we all have every school has their goal setting and the feedback that they get, their pre-observation, their post-observation. We also have quite a lot of uh, in-house professional development and support, not only as a head of department. I'm constantly talking to my guys and learning from my guys about, our balance between formative and summative, and how are we best evaluating the growth of our students? How do we meet the needs through our EAL department for differentiation of instruction? And then, we also have opportunities to better our pedagogy and our curriculum through things like the Atlas Rubicon training, which has been pretty successful. And we spend a lot of time in our department talking about this type of thing. How does an effective leader develop the capacity, opportunities, and support for teachers' leadership and leadership from other members of the school community? Well, I think, one thing that really sets us apart from a lot of schools is the collaboration that we have with our community, our student government, and our parent support groups. Monster Mash alone um, is really a star on the horizon for everybody to look at, and that is just a big success. This year was probably the most successful version of it that I have seen, but Mike Kay, who leads student government, talks about some of the previous pre-COVID ones. Um, we also have the North Anglia University, which is almost a never-ending list of courses and classes that you can take in areas of growth, and I've taken advantage of some of the leadership classes. And then, we have a partnership with King's College where you can apply for and go through a process to um, take a master's in leadership, and then there's other master's programs through King's College as well. So lots of different opportunities for leadership, that's for sure. And then standard 7, professional community for teachers and staff. How does an effective leader develop workplace conditions for teachers and other professional staff that promote effective professional development, practice, and student learning? Well, one of the things that we're going to do in this program that I'm pretty excited about is in this module 39, we will be surveying all the different members of the community to get feedback on my personal growth, my leadership evaluation from principals and assistant principal, head of school, and then I'll be surveying students and parents and staff, um, and I'm pretty excited about that. We also have very targeted professional development, which has really helped me to understand the cohort that we have at our school. What are our students like? Who are they? Um, and our communication. Um, I must admit, I was not prepared when when you, Mr. Burton, and Miss Essex and I started having different conversations about the number of teachers that do not read their emails. And I guess I need to prepare myself more for that when I move into a leadership position, because it is kind of shocking. It is kind of shocking how many people will say, "I didn't know. Why didn't you tell us?" How was I supposed to know? And it's right there. It's right in this thing called Sea Dragon News. It's there. Um, how does an effective leader provide opportunities for collaborative examination of practice, collegial feedback, and collective learning? Again, I'm a big proponent of surveying my students and getting feedback from my students. What can I do better? And we do that within our department. Um, one of the things that I would love to see us do more is the tuning protocol. I've really grown through the use of that. And this year, I do have a teaching partner in a PLC type environment with our ninth grade social studies teacher, and really learned a lot. Not necessarily in any one area, but just little things like how do we better communicate with our students so they understand the standards as well as we understand the standards. That's a big one. That's been a big one for me. And in our department meetings, I've really tried to grow in my structure of our meetings, setting a firm agenda, keeping time, and trying to kind of squash some of the the tangents that we tend to go off on.